All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Bashir El Rufai, son of Kaduna State Governor Nasir El Rufai, has expressed a change in perception about the Labour Party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, describing him as a great potential president or vice president. Now, this clearly means an Obi presidency where El Rufai is vice, or an Atiku presidency where Peter Obi is vice. As soon as El Rufai decamped to SDP, I just knew that their next move would be to try to lure Peter Obi into a coalition. Now, this is El Rufai's son already begging Peter Obi, after all the derogatory things he and his father said about Obi in the last elections. Who would have thought that they would return to beg? But El Rufai can never be trusted. I repeat, El Rufai can never be trusted. I am not saying there shouldn't be a coalition of opposition parties. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that Obi must be very careful. First of all, Obi must be the flag bearer of any coalition, and he must be totally in charge of his campaign, know everything that is happening. Don't leave anything to chance or to anybody like that. Secondly, the Obidati ticket did not lose the 2023 presidential election. We must not forget that. We were rigged out. So the ticket was not actually the problem. Instead of concentrating on changing ticket, I think the focus should be on how to ensure by law that results are transmitted from the polling units to the IREV, the kind of bill that Dele Farotimi was talking about. Generally how to ensure that we match APC violence or violence, because the issue here is that the APC is not planning to hold elections. So anybody who is planning on an election based on this status quo, based on this current situation, is just wasting his time. It's not about coalition or anything. It's about ensuring that the right thing is done at the polls. Now, on to the top stories. Hours ago, Tinubu was shamed after a terrible lie from Aso Rock. The lie was exposed and it brought about heavy reactions from Nigerians. At this point, there is nothing left for this administration in terms of integrity. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update on the heavy protest in Ondo State began making the rounds. The details of this protest, especially the events that led to it, are totally heartbreaking and traumatizing. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you these videos.
But I will use this opportunity to talk to Nigerians straight as far as this issue is concerned. I have seen some people align themselves with Natasha, and I've seen some people align themselves with Godswill Akpabio on the controversy in the National Assembly. The question I'm going to ask Nigerians who have taken sides is, how does the issue that has become a controversy affect your life? Let us take it one by one. The controversy is not about the life of ordinary Nigerian that Natasha and Godswill are fighting over. The controversy is not the issue of the raising of electricity tariff. It's not the issue of raising of telecommunication. It's not the issue of prices of commodities. It's not the issue about people being unable to pay their rent or people being unable to pay the tuition fees of their children. It's not the issue of poverty or insecurity in Nigeria. It is the issue of the sitting arrangement of the Senate that escalated to a sexual allegation. Sitting arrangement of the Senate, how does it affect the lives of the common man who is battling to survive day and night? So before people get into elitists' internal conflict, I think it's important they ask themselves, how is that important in their lives? We are not in a situation where one senator stands up to oppose the policies and program of government, or one senator is advocating for a certain people's-oriented, masses-oriented policy, and the Senate president was opposed to it. It's not the issue. The issue is about sitting arrangement.
You heard that. Shehu Sani is trying to say in a nutshell there that the issue of sexual harassment is the least of our problems as Nigerians. You may want to agree, but that is not true. The underlying issue is that a Nigerian senator was denied fair hearing, and any common man who is not worried about that is a fool. So it is not just about Senator Natasha, it is about the average Nigerian who is voiceless. And Shehu Sani, you just decamped to APC about a week ago, or a week and a half ago. So if you cared about the people, you wouldn't be joining the APC. So don't come and tell Nigerians what to do. You would have been looking for a way to help kick the APC out of power if you cared about the people of this country. So, sir, with all due respect, just shut up. Next video here is one of the reasons I have concluded that Senator Akpabio is not innocent in this saga. This is another shameless protest showing support for Akpabio. This protester here didn't even know what was written on the placard he was carrying. See the video.
You're holding a poster about the petition. Did you read it?
No.
Hold it.
The poster is not about the protest. It's not about Natasha being blackmailing to That is all. We are not here for much.
No, but you know what the poster, this one says?
My woman, not today, man, a woman, the post that says.
Natasha. Akpabio. Never.
Do you know what the poster says? Yes.
Okay, Natasha. Akpabio. Wait now.
Yes.
Natasha Akpabio involved 2020. Also blackmail present husband by waiting the petition against him which of expecting to 10 billion naira from him.
So do you know about petition?
Petition? No, I didn't know about the petition.
So did somebody just give it to you?
Yeah, somebody just gave it to me.
Somebody just gave it to you. Why are you beating him?
You saw that. Poor Nigerians hired as usual to come and humiliate themselves on TV in the name of protests. And I keep saying it, if Akpabio was innocent, he wouldn't have gone this route. Because this is the same thing people do after they have rigged elections or after they have done something bad. They come out to try to create false image in public that they didn't do it by paying people to come and protest. After Yaya stole money in Kogi State, this was the same thing he did to hire protesters. So how can a man, a Senate president, an ex-governor who was accused of sexual harassment go that same route if the man is completely innocent? Ask yourself that question, because the whole thing is turning into a joke. A former senator came on air and began to joke with Akpabio, alluded to the fact that it was probably the beauty of Senator Natasha that made Akpabio to lose control. If Akpabio had taken this issue very seriously, such funny and disgraceful utterances wouldn't have been coming out. But he couldn't take it seriously because his hands are not clean. So he began to go the same way that other issues have gone in Nigeria. Then after a few weeks, he expects that people will just sweep everything under the carpet. And that stain remains on him forever. What a shame. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that statement, that lie from Aso Rock that drew angry reactions from thousands of Nigerians. And next is that update coming out of Ondo State. Yorubas fleeing their communities as Fulanis kill them and take over their homes. And then very heavy protest erupted after this catastrophic reality. Let's start by taking that update from Tinubu. Look at how the papers reported it. I removed fuel subsidy to protect unborn generation. Tinubu stated this at the inauguration of the National Youth Congress Planning Committee at the Council Chambers, Presidential Villa, Abuja. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to youth empowerment, declaring that the government policies were designed to secure a prosperous future. He said, "I have listened to you carefully. Today is not for long speeches. I just want to reassure you that you are the hope of the country. Everything hangs on your future. Every decision that I've taken is all about tomorrow. When you remove oil subsidy, you are protecting the future of generations yet unborn, the youth. Where is the investment for the infrastructure? When you listen to majority of professionals talking about Japa leaving Nigeria, it is because if you grow prosperity back home and you empower people, they will not bother to leave. They will stay home. This is your home to develop, build, and make prosper. Government of the day is all about you. Take it very seriously. You can abuse politicians all you like, but politics is about development and about the future generation. I'm glad you are all here as a committee to inspire today, tomorrow, and day after. I am with you." Further, he said, "When we started, it looked so foggy, dicey, and hopeless. We tried hard and we were fetching water from a dry well. But today, the economy has turned the corner. Prices are falling. Confidence in our economy is improving. Investors are looking in. Technology is advancing. You have the opportunity. I have listened to the remark of your spokesperson. You have the great opportunity of advancing the development of this country. It is all in your hands. Mine is to help navigate and push and lift the heavyweight problems so I can clear the path for you to have a very great future. But it is in your hands. Look at me in the face. Tell me whatever you think is wrong and the way you want things done or suggestions. We will try to implement all of it as long as it is for the prosperity of this country." Lies, lies, and all lies. First of all, let me quickly deal with the last paragraph. He said, "Look at me in the face and tell me what is wrong." This is the administration that is gagging everybody, trying to silence every voice of opposition. You talk, they pick you up. DSS and all. And you are standing there to lie to those youths that they should look you in the face and tell you what is wrong. And then he said he removed subsidy because of the future, because of unborn children. Is it the same unborn children that you have taken loans and loans after loans, waiting for them to come and pay with all that they have? You connive with Buhari to sell our crude oil up front until 2030. Maybe by the time you will be leaving office, crude oil would have been sold up front until to 2090. And you are here saying you are doing things for the unborn generation. No, that is a big lie. Only a fool would believe these utterances. And of course, Nigerians did not believe him. Eric here says, Tinubu is always very vague with his reason for removing fuel subsidy. The average man on the street is concerned with the cost of goods and how to feed his family. If you want to explain your reasons, it is best to be very detailed. He cannot be detailed about it. This man is a petrol importer, and they are not even happy with the way prices are going down a bit with the Dangote refinery, and that is why they have stopped selling crude oil to Dangote in Naira. These people are here to destroy. And Baba Voss here says, "My guy, you just mortgage their future by selling our crude in advance. What are you talking about, guy?" That is it. Sold crude oil in advance. You can't be talking about protecting anyone's future. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update talking about the heavy protest from Ondo State began making the rounds. First of all, it was this update. Bandits sack several communities in Ondo State, kill 20 residents as others flee. Sahara reporters. No fewer than 20 people have been reportedly killed after bandits invaded and sacked 4 communities in Akure North local government area of Ondo State. The affected communities, which include Aba Alajido, Aba Sunday, Aba Pastor, and Ademekun, were attacked on Sunday night, forcing residents to flee for safety. Sources suggested the death toll could be much higher, with one resident who spoke to Vanguard claiming that over 40 people may have been killed, while many others remain missing. And then the protest followed. Breaking. Protest erupts in Akure after kidnappers abduct 9 surveyors in Ondo State. Sahara reporters. Kidnappers suspected to be armed herdsmen have abducted 9 surveyors in Ondo State in a fresh wave of kidnappings rocking the region. This development has sparked protest as demonstrators stormed Akure, the Ondo State capital. The abduction reportedly took place at Owode Iluabo in Akure South local government area. The victims, all surveyors, are said to be natives of Akure. Carrying placards protesting women blocked the popular Oba Adesina Road in Akure, demanding actions from authorities. According to The Nation, Comfort Afolabi, a sister of one of the kidnapped victims, revealed that the 9 surveyors were abducted last week. She further stated that the kidnappers had demanded 50 million naira before they would begin negotiations for their release. She added that the kidnappers have now placed the ransom at 100 million naira before they will release their victims. Kidnappings have been on the rise in Ondo State. Last week, a farmer and his manager were abducted while returning from their farm in the Obaile area. Wow, what a tragedy going on in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. And I hate to say this, it's sad, but I am kind of glad that this is happening in the southwest. Because ever since Tinubu got into office, the southwest region is about the most hit by all the consequences of the failure of this administration. And many Nigerians have given up on the country. They don't even want to talk about politics anymore. But for me, I am still saying I want to wait until 2027. I want to wait until the next presidential election in this country. Because I have not seen any reason. There is no single ground upon which anybody would take his bath, put on his clothes and leave his house, head to a polling unit to go and vote for APC. I have not seen any reason why that should happen. And I know that these guys rig elections, but there is one thing I also know. If they are rejected overwhelmingly by the people, they will not be able to rig. Because when they are rigging all these elections, I don't see any politician there. I don't see any minister there. I don't see the governors there. It is still Nigerians that they use to do all this rigging. So it is about Nigerians rejecting them because of the state of the nation. If the people can look at the fact that this country is crashing, is sinking, and when the sky falls, it is not one man's business. If the people can look at that fact, then they can collect that money and still work against them. So I'm giving Nigerians until 2027 to see the decisions that people are going to take. Are we going to allow the APC to completely ruin this country, or are we going to stand together and say, no, you guys must leave? You keep our fingers crossed and see the decisions that the majority of Nigerians will take. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.